Wait a minute. Let's go back to, who do you think will win, Errol Spence or Terence Crawford?
I like Crawford a lot. After that last fight, it's going to be interesting.
Right.
He beat Porter with rather ease. And Porter, I think, beat Spence.
UGAS.
UGAS. I believe he beat UGAS before a distance. It's going to be interesting. I like Crawford, but it ain't going to be an easy fight, I don't think. If it's an easy fight, I'll drop that. It's really going to be interesting. I'm going to make sure I'm there.
I want to be there,
God willing, if I'm alive, I like to go.
Mike Tyson said, hey, you know, the way Terence Crawford, he fought him, I felt that it would. Mike Tyson says that Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter was relatively easy. He also said Errol Spence got dropped versus UGAS. Wow. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Gang, gang, come in, smash the like button. Now, Mike Tyson, you guys heard the clip at the beginning. And I made a part 1 of this video. This is the sequel. Subscribe for the best in boxing, latest and greatest, all that good stuff. Mike Tyson said something I totally disagree with. He says the Shawn Porter fight for Terence Crawford was relatively easy. Now, before I get too deep into my content, I want you to also hear, in case you missed the first video, what Mike Tyson said regarding the UGAS fight for Errol Spence. So basically, you have Mike Tyson on his podcast with special guest Rosie Perez, and he's giving his almost prediction for Crawford versus Errol Spence versus Crawford, however you want to call it. And to do this or justify his prediction, he's kind of bringing up the last fights from both Errol Spence Jr. and also Terence Crawford. So this is what he had to say regarding Errol Spence last performance, unification, YORDENIS UGAS out of Cuba. Without further ado, roll the clip.
What do you think about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford?
Oh my God, defining fight for both of them.
They're both great fighters.
Yes, for both of them. And I'm a fan of each of them. I've been a fan of Terence Crawford longer. You know, but Errol Spence Jr.'s last fight against UGAS.
That was hell.
What?
He looked good in that fight.
He sure did. And oh my God, what about Derek James, the trainer?
What happened to him?
He helped him win that fight.
What'd he do?
He snapped him out of it.
He did get dropped too, right? The guy dropped him. I didn't see all that. I saw highlights.
He dropped him because...
So that was from Mike Tyson recent interview / podcast. Now, I got to disagree with Mike Tyson, and it kind of goes back to what I previously said. There's a lot of boxing experts, former fighters, etc., weighing in on Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Now, again, this is a great fight. I'm not mad at whoever you guys decide to pick because there's no telling. Ain't no telling. There's really no telling what will happen. It's pretty, in every sense of the word, a 50-50 fight. But I was hearing a lot of predictions, and it's not just Mike Tyson. This is other predictions. And I said it in several videos. It made me wonder if they really, truly watched both guys' career and were speaking on recent performances, this, that, and the third. And with this latest from Mike Tyson specifically, who's released the prediction and kind of weighed in on the Spence Crawford, my questions remain and persist because some of the stuff he's saying is making me wonder, did you truly watch from start to finish Errol Spence versus UGAS? And I can tell you the answer, no. The reason I can tell you the answer is if you rewind this video, you heard him. He says, the guy, he doesn't even say his name, YORDENIS UGAS. He says, didn't the guy knock him down? Meaning Errol Spence. And that's not really what happened. And the ref didn't call it a knockdown. So to me, it didn't sound like he was super well versed. And in the following statement from Mike Tyson, he admitted, he said, I only really watched the highlights. And this same thing has happened to me. I remember the exact fight and everything. It was Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provodnikov. I told you, I've been the best at it in this game for quite some time. So I remember I did a video. The fight was a great fight. Timothy Bradley. It was at the Home Depot Center, Ruslan Provodnikov. And I loved it. It was great. Bradley fought like an idiot and kind of like a maniac, but it still made for an entertaining fight. You know, he went head up with the puncher and was concussed and had to get back to his boxing. But in my video, I remember saying that I believe Timothy Bradley, for what he did in the middle to second half of the fight, I thought he beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Now, it wasn't easy. Again, boxing fans consistently go for the low-hanging fruit. Ruslan Provodnikov, knockout artist. Not much on the defense in the boxing, but he clearly has power. So that's what people look for. They seen Bradley doing cartwheels and hurt and dropped and, you know, his face swelling up and he was slurring his words at the post-fight. That's easy to see. Anybody can detect these things because it's so apparent. Now, I remember someone left a comment and they were like, nah, you're cap. Ruslan Provodnikov destroyed him and things like that. And then I had a brief exchange with the person and we had a couple back and forth things. And then I got to the point and I'm like, wait, this person is so confident that Ruslan Provodnikov destroyed and defeated Tim Bradley and there was no question about it and things like that. So I go into my toolkit of boxing fan and boxing knowledge. So I asked the fan, I said, what rounds did you give Ruslan Provodnikov? Because it's a 12-round fight. I get it. He was hurt. He was stumbling. He was slurring. But what rounds did you? And it was at that exact moment, the fan finally sent, you know, I waited for the comment to come by and they replied and they said, I did not watch the fight, but I seen the highlights on Instagram. I immediately blocked them for wasting my time. And I thought to myself, I was like, how foolish of me to even engage with somebody that didn't even watch the fight. Obviously, it was unbeknownst to me. And that situation stuck with me. And I think there's more people than you think that are like that. Like when I say stuff in boxing, people say, oh, your favoritism, you're biased and you hate this guy and like this guy. But it's all boxing related. I'm not saying anything about the person's mama. I'm not saying they're ugly, things like that. I'm talking boxing. And even if you agree or disagree with my opinion, I always support it. That being said, the one thing that I do, and I do oh so greatly, is I will not speak on something if I'm not well versed in it. If I didn't watch the fight, then I'm not going to, like there's times where Canelo fight Rocky Fielding or something. I didn't really know much about Fielding. So I don't get on here and start talking. I had to do research and go to YouTube and kind of check the guy out, pause, and determine if he had a chance to beat Canelo or whatever the situation is, whoever the opponent is. If I don't know you and I don't know, never seen your work, then I don't really make predictions and statements on the fight. Like when it was Canelo and MacBook Air. I've seen MacBook Air and, you know, it just wasn't a fight that anyone was asking for. So there's more people that are doing that than you probably think. And it sounds like some of the people who are weighing in on Crawford, Errol Spence, I really question how well versed they are on the two fighters, because Mike Tyson saying Errol Spence got dropped when he didn't. And he said the Crawford fight was relatively easy, but Crawford's own team said, hey, bud, you got to step it up, do something because you down in the fight. So how does that equate to the fight being easy? And then Mike Tyson specifically, he used a triangle theory to say, hey, Shawn Porter, you know, he got knocked out by Crawford versus Errol Spence was in a war, but this is different years, totally different Shawn Porters as far as I'm concerned. So it just sounds like almost like you're reading cue cards and somebody's giving you the information, or you may have seen highlights and then you're making your speculation or your judgment by that. So just so you know, when I do my fight predictions, which is one of the reasons I'm the best in the world, you know, I don't come from that. I don't come from a palette of like guesswork or, you know, I'm just guessing what the person, but I didn't watch the fight, things of that nature. Let me know how I did in this video. Subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of Mike Tyson's comments. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off. Boop.
Over patient, and then I was like just throwing punches instead of just picking my shots. But I think, you know, that was due to the long layoff, and I was, you know, super excited to get back in the ring, and I was trying to push the pace more than I needed it to.
Looked like you got caught in the 6th round. Your mouthpiece went out. You turned away, and then you took a couple of shots. What happened there?
Well, I thought the ref had said stop, so I stopped. and then he still hit me with like 3 or 4 shots. So, you know, that's my fault. That was a rookie mistake on myself. You know, you're supposed to protect yourself at all times, and I didn't do that at all.
Were you out on your feet for a moment or two there?
No, I wasn't out on my feet. I turned and looked at my mouthpiece, and then he hit me, and I was like, oh shit. Well, they just kept hitting me. I was like, oh damn. And then when I tried to put my hands up, he had stopped anyway because the ref had jumped in. So it was all right.
How is it that you have managed to become a better fighter through all of the adversity, through the car accident, through the eye? How is it that you've improved?
I believe in, you know, you're gonna go through trials and tribulations. You know, I went through a lot of trials. You know, I got tested, and you know, I passed the test due to, you know, just my upbringing. My mother, my father always, you know, telling me not to quit, not to give up, and just believing in myself and my family, and not wanting to prove them wrong and know I could come back. So I was like, man, why would I just quit now and I can come back and I can still be at my best? I just got to train hard, stay focused, listen to my coach, and, you know, just stay out the way.
What's next?
Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.